Hello, fearless Scorpio. A quiet wave of possibility is already moving toward you, and something long hidden beneath the surface is beginning to reveal itself. If you found this video today, trust that it isn't simply a random moment, because your intuition may have guided you here for a reason. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that gentle pull within your heart lately, as though an unseen current has been guiding your attention towards something important? Have you sensed that someone could be thinking about you, perhaps finding the courage to say what has remained unspoken for far too long? Maybe you've carried the quiet feeling that a meaningful breakthrough is drawing closer, even if you still can't see which path will lead it to you. If you felt a subtle shift in the air around your life, this message may speak directly to where you are now. During July 1st to 26, Scorpio, you may be stepping into a meaningful window that encourages openness, emotional clarity, and new momentum. Rather than rushing forward through effort alone, this period invites you to receive with trust. The symbolic language of today's tarot message, the Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the High Priestess points toward opportunity, heartfelt honesty, and deeper inner wisdom. These cards are more than simple images. Together, they suggest a path where practical growth, emotional truth, and intuitive guidance begin to support one another in a more natural way. This message reaches beyond finances. It also speaks about healing, remembering your own strength, and reconnecting with the version of yourself that existed before doubt slowly became familiar. It reminds you of who you were before silence felt heavier than words, and before protecting yourself meant becoming smaller than your true spirit. You may no longer need to remain in a season of waiting, because what has stayed hidden can begin to come into the light. What has felt delayed may start finding its way toward you, and what once seemed out of reach can become possible to receive. If these words already resonate with something inside you, don't brush that feeling aside. Leave a comment below and write, "I'm ready to receive what's meant for me. I choose divine timing. I trust that what belongs to me will find its way." Speaking your intention can become a meaningful reminder of the openness you're choosing today. Before we continue, I want to sincerely thank you for being here. Your time, your encouragement, your comments, and your willingness to be part of this community help make these messages possible. You're far more than someone watching a video, and Scorpio, I truly believe today's message may offer an important perspective if you stay present with it. Take a slow breath with me and allow the outside noise to settle for a moment. You've carried enough questions already, so ask yourself, what inner feeling inspired you to press play today? Perhaps your deeper self has been gently leading you toward a chapter that has been unfolding quietly for much longer than you realized. There is something quietly powerful about divine timing. Right now, Scorpio, you may be standing at the edge of an important turning point, as the opening days of July invite reflection, intention, and emotional renewal. It feels less like a sudden miracle appearing overnight and more like a door gradually opening, allowing space for possibilities your heart has been preparing to receive, even before your mind found the words to describe them. This special window around July 1-2, 2026 isn't meaningful because of superstition. It symbolizes a period when emotional awareness, trust, and personal growth can work together more naturally. The energy of this moment responds less to force or constant control, and more to quiet confidence, genuine openness, and the growing belief that you are ready to welcome greater clarity, deeper peace, and new opportunities into the places where uncertainty has lingered for far too long. In this moment, Scorpio, life is gently inviting you to loosen your grip and allow trust to carry some of the weight you've been holding. This isn't about standing still or giving up your dreams. It's about moving into harmony with the opportunities that may already be finding their way toward you. During this symbolic window around July 1-2, 2026, the Ace of Pentacles points beyond financial gain and toward the beginning of something steady, meaningful, and built to last. Its message isn't simply about receiving money. It speaks of creating a stronger foundation, one that reflects your growing confidence in your own value. Opportunities like a promising career step, an unexpected financial opening, An important agreement or a conversation that creates lasting support may emerge when you're no longer questioning whether you deserve them. Beneath every outward possibility lies a quieter lesson, learning to feel comfortable accepting what life is ready to place in your hands. Alongside the Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Cups brings the message closer to your heart. This card often appears when feelings that have remained hidden begin searching for words, whether they belong to someone from your past or to a person who has been standing beside you in silence. What matters most is that emotional barriers may begin to soften, allowing honesty to replace uncertainty and creating space for conversations that once seemed impossible. Then the High Priestess quietly reminds you of something you've sensed all along. Long before answers arrive, your intuition often recognizes the truth first, even when the outside world encourages you to rely only on logic or constant proof. If you've been noticing a quiet inner nudge lately, don't dismiss it too quickly. It may simply be your inner wisdom preparing you for what is gradually unfolding. The deeper message behind this symbolic alignment reflects a grounded understanding of attraction and readiness. More often than not, people grow into the experiences they truly believe they can receive. Rather than asking whether you wished hard enough, this moment invites a gentler question. Do your daily choices, your confidence, and the way you care for yourself reflect the belief that you're ready for what you've been hoping to welcome? Life can easily pull your attention toward deadlines, responsibilities, and constant distractions. Even so, meaningful moments still have a way of finding you, whether through an unexpected conversation, a quiet pause that brings surprising clarity, or a message that arrives exactly when your heart is ready to hear it. Scorpio, don't hurry through these first days of July. Allow this window to unfold naturally, because when the opportunity, the conversation, or the deeper truth presents itself, you may discover that you've been preparing for it much longer than you realized. Many of life's greatest blessings don't appear because we force them into existence. They often arrive after we've stopped trying to control every detail and created enough inner space to receive something different. During this meaningful period, your focus shifts away from constant effort and toward openness, trust, and quiet alignment with the direction your life is beginning to take. The Ace of Pentacles continues to symbolize practical abundance, meaningful opportunities, and tangible progress. Although these gifts rarely arrive exactly as expected, they may come through an unforeseen payment, a welcome financial adjustment, a thoughtful gift, an encouraging offer, or another practical opening that seems to appear at just the right moment, inviting you to recognize possibilities that may have been quietly approaching all along. Sometimes the greatest gift isn't money itself, but the opportunity that quietly changes everything that follows. It may arrive as a meaningful collaboration, an unexpected invitation, or an idea that feels so deeply connected to who you are that it naturally redirects your path. The important thing is that you don't have to pursue it with relentless force, because the opportunities meant for you often respond better to openness than to pressure. Think about how a bird chooses to rest on a calm, steady hand, rather than one reaching desperately to catch it. Possibilities often move in much the same way, finding their place through patience, readiness, and quiet trust. During this symbolic window around July 1st to 26, you may simply be asked whether your heart is willing to welcome what has been approaching all along. Saying yes doesn't always require grand declarations. Sometimes it happens in a quiet breath when everything suddenly feels clear, or in that silent moment when your heart gently whispers, "This belongs in my life." When you open yourself to receiving with sincerity instead of fear, what is truly meant for you often arrives with far more ease than you expected. Over the years, one lesson has appeared again and again: lasting abundance often grows through healing rather than constant striving. It becomes easier to recognize new opportunities after releasing what no longer reflects the person you're becoming. There is a kind of richness that develops naturally when you've made peace with old wounds, forgiven what needed forgiving, and continued moving forward even when progress seemed invisible. Never underestimate everything you've already carried. You've lived through uncertainty, disappointment, and long seasons of waiting, yet you continued planting hope even when no one else could see it growing. As a timeless teaching reminds us, those who sow through tears often discover joy in time, and that rhythm reflects the quiet unfolding of meaningful change. This is why this moment invites you to receive, instead of endlessly proving yourself. You don't have to trade away your peace or compromise your values to welcome something worthwhile into your life. Rather than seeing life as a series of endless tests, consider the possibility that your perseverance has been preparing you for what comes next. So let me ask you something, Scorpio. As July 1 to 2, 2026 approaches, what are you ready to welcome into your life if you remain open, grounded, and willing to say yes? If this message speaks to your heart, leave a comment below and write, "May new blessings find me now." Declaring your intention can become a simple reminder that you're choosing openness instead of fear. This message isn't simply offering encouragement, it's inviting you to recognize that the breakthrough you stopped trying to control may already be moving quietly in your direction. Some of life's greatest gifts appear after we've released the need to determine exactly when or how they should arrive. During this meaningful season, the energy encourages alignment, openness, and trust instead of constant effort. The Ace of Pentacles continues to symbolize practical abundance, new opportunities, meaningful invitations, and lasting progress. Although these blessings often appear in forms you never expected, they may come through an unforeseen payment, a welcome financial adjustment, a thoughtful gift, an encouraging proposal, or another opening that naturally leads toward greater stability. Yet even beyond financial possibilities, something even more valuable may reveal itself. A conversation, a partnership, or an inspired idea could become the doorway that reshapes your future in ways that are difficult to imagine today. Like a bird choosing a peaceful hand, these opportunities often arrive most naturally when your heart is steady, your spirit is open, and you're willing to receive with quiet confidence. Right now, the question isn't whether an opportunity exists. The quieter question is whether you're ready to welcome it when it appears. Your answer doesn't have to be dramatic or spoken for the world to hear. Sometimes it arrives in a single peaceful breath when your heart recognizes something before your mind can explain it, and you simply know, this belongs in my life. When that quiet yes comes from a place of trust, it has a way of opening doors far wider than you expected. Again and again, I've watched meaningful change unfold, not because people pushed harder, but because they healed, softened, and released what no longer reflected the life they wanted to build. There is a kind of abundance that naturally grows after you've made peace with yesterday instead of carrying it into every tomorrow. That kind of richness belongs to people who have quietly forgiven, shed tears no one else witnessed, and continued believing even when nothing around them seemed to change. I want to remind you of something important. You've already survived the most difficult part. You've carried uncertainty, heartbreak, and long seasons of waiting with remarkable strength, planting hope long before you could see the harvest. One timeless teaching reminds us that those who sow through tears often discover joy in time. Whether you see that as spiritual wisdom or simply a reflection of resilience, it speaks to the quiet rhythm of meaningful transformation. This season invites you to receive with confidence instead of questioning whether you deserve what is unfolding. Allow yourself to believe that something good doesn't have to require another sacrifice. You don't need to trade away your peace, your integrity, or your sense of self to welcome something valuable into your life. Rather than viewing every challenge as another test, consider the possibility that your endurance has been preparing you for this new chapter. So let me ask you, Scorpio, as July 1-26 unfolds, what are you ready to receive if you remain open, grounded, and willing to trust the next step? If this message speaks to you, leave a comment below and write, "May new blessings find me now." Sometimes putting your intention into words becomes a simple way of reminding yourself that you're choosing openness over fear. This isn't simply another video, it's an invitation to recognize that the breakthrough you stopped chasing may already be moving quietly toward you. Sometimes what your heart truly longs for isn't perfect closure at all. It's clarity, and that clarity often becomes the beginning of a much deeper transformation. Scorpio, this is where the message of the Page of Cups becomes especially meaningful. Its appearance suggests that someone connected to your emotional world may be feeling ready to express what has remained hidden for far too long. The conversation may involve love, but it can just as easily involve a longtime friend, a family member, or anyone whose silence has left unanswered questions between you. The importance of this moment isn't simply that someone may wish to speak, it's that you may finally be ready to hear what once felt impossible to receive. Your heart may have been waiting much longer than you realized, for honesty, for understanding, or for someone to acknowledge the depth of what was once shared between you. Emotional clarity has a remarkable way of creating healing, even when it cannot rewrite the past. It can ease the weight of uncertainty, help you breathe more freely, and allow you to move ahead without carrying every unanswered question. Remember this as well. Forgiveness is never an obligation. It becomes meaningful only when it supports your own healing, instead of asking you to ignore your truth. If someone shares something unexpected with you, you have every right to listen with kindness while still choosing the boundaries that feel right for you. In some cases, those words may bring a sense of peace or understanding that has remained out of reach for years. Throughout countless conversations about love, loss, and reconciliation, I've seen moments like these quietly change lives again and again. Sometimes the message you've been waiting for doesn't arrive until months or even years have passed. It may come as an apology you once believed would never be spoken, or as an honest confession from someone finally able to say, "I couldn't find the words before, but I can now." Even when those words are imperfect, they often carry a sincerity that reaches much deeper than polished explanations ever could. You may discover that you were never truly forgotten. Whether or not that conversation changes anything on the outside, it can quietly reshape everything within you. One lesson that continually bridges emotional healing and personal growth is this: when the truth is finally spoken, confusion begins to lose its hold. Once hidden feelings are brought into the light, they no longer have the same power over your heart. You stop replaying old conversations late at night, searching for meanings that were never fully explained. Your body begins to relax, your thoughts become gentler, and little by little, you find your way back to yourself. You may even be surprised to realize that what you're truly ready for isn't necessarily reconciliation. Instead, you may be ready to release the weight of the past with compassion and move forward without carrying unanswered questions. Emotional healing isn't about reopening every closed chapter. It's about walking into the future without being defined by what was left unsaid. If this message is touching something deep within you, don't dismiss that feeling too quickly. There may be someone in your present or from your past who is also feeling the quiet pull toward honesty, whether through words, actions, or simple presence. At the same time, your own intuition may already be recognizing what your mind hasn't fully understood yet. So let me gently ask you something. Is there someone you've quietly hoped to hear from? Someone whose silence has lingered in your heart longer than you expected? If this speaks to you, leave a comment below and write, "I am ready to hear the truth." Sometimes the simple willingness to receive clarity becomes the first step toward healing, not only within the relationship itself, but also within your own heart. When truth meets a heart that is genuinely ready to receive it, peace often begins to follow. Love doesn't always announce itself with dramatic moments or overwhelming emotion. More often, it arrives like the first soft light of morning, calm, steady, and appearing exactly when you're finally prepared to recognize it. Scorpio, if you sense that your heart has been waiting for something it couldn't quite name, this may be the moment to listen more closely. The energy surrounding you encourages emotional honesty, while the High Priestess reminds you that your intuition has often recognized the truth long before circumstances made it obvious. What has quietly lived inside your inner knowing may now be moving closer to becoming part of your lived experience. Two meaningful possibilities may be unfolding before you. One is the arrival of someone new whose presence feels peaceful rather than overwhelming, someone who offers respect, patience, and genuine emotional safety instead of uncertainty. This person doesn't ask you to become someone else to earn love. Instead, being with them feels natural, grounded, and deeply authentic. The second possibility involves someone from your past, not returning unchanged, but returning only after meaningful personal growth. Real transformation is built on accountability, self-awareness, and a sincere commitment to creating healthier patterns together. If this possibility begins to unfold, trust your discernment and allow actions, consistency, and emotional steadiness to reveal more than promises alone. At the center of this chapter is a truth that's easy to overlook. The love we welcome into our lives often reflects the love and respect we consistently offer ourselves. As you begin treating yourself with greater compassion and stop sacrificing your own needs to earn acceptance, you naturally become more open to relationships that honor those same qualities. That is where genuine alignment begins. It isn't about wishing for the perfect relationship, but about becoming emotionally available for the kind of connection that reflects your own growth. You may have experienced relationships that showed you, sometimes painfully, what love was never meant to feel like. Perhaps there were moments when you were made to feel that your heart was too intense, your emotions too deep, or your needs too complicated. Those experiences were never proof that something was wrong with you. Instead, they helped shape a version of you that no longer settles for relationships built on uncertainty or affection that appears only when it's convenient. You're learning what it feels like to remain loyal to yourself instead of chasing acceptance from someone else. As that quiet confidence grows, it creates room for a relationship that respects every part of who you are, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Time and again, I've watched people discover that the moment they stop pursuing love at any cost and begin choosing themselves, life starts responding in unexpected ways. Sometimes that change arrives through a heartfelt message. Sometimes it's found in a brief moment of eye contact that feels strangely familiar. And sometimes it comes through a peaceful silence that no longer feels lonely, but deeply reassuring. Whatever form it takes, it often carries the unmistakable feeling that something meaningful is gently moving closer. So let me ask you with genuine care, what do you sense entering your life now? Does it feel like the possibility of someone new whose presence is calm and steady, or could it be someone from your past who has truly grown? Perhaps the deepest relationship unfolding right now is the one you're rebuilding with yourself, and that quiet transformation deserves just as much attention. Whatever shape this next chapter takes, you'll recognize it because it won't ask you to become less of yourself in order to be loved. Instead, it will encourage you to grow, breathe more freely, and feel increasingly at peace within your own life. If these words resonate with you, leave a comment below and write, "I choose healing love." Sometimes declaring your intention is simply a way of honoring the direction your heart is already moving. Meaningful change rarely begins with dramatic action. More often, it starts with a clear intention and the willingness to make room for something different. Scorpio, this season isn't asking you to push harder or carry more than you already have. It gently encourages you to create space, not only in your surroundings, but also within your thoughts, your emotions, and your spirit. As the truths you've uncovered, the healing you've embraced, and the new possibilities beginning to appear continue gathering momentum, one essential step remains: release. It's difficult to welcome something new while tightly holding everything that belongs to an earlier chapter, and that's why letting go can become such an important part of personal growth. Simple practices can become meaningful reminders of that choice. Tidying a forgotten corner of your home, lighting a white candle, placing a glass of fresh water near a window, or writing old fears on paper before safely letting them go can symbolize your willingness to move forward. These actions don't create change by themselves, but they can help you express an intention that already exists within you. I'm ready to leave behind what no longer reflects who I'm becoming. One idea often shared in both personal growth and symbolic spiritual practice is that creating space allows new possibilities to enter. Your living environment often reflects your emotional landscape. When your surroundings feel calm, cared for, and welcoming, they can gently remind you to approach your future with the same openness. That is why these opening days of July 1-2, 2026 can be viewed as more than simply the beginning of another month. They offer a meaningful opportunity to pause, reset your intentions, and prepare yourself for the chapter you're stepping into. The more room you create for peace, clarity, and hope, the easier it becomes to recognize new opportunities when they appear. If you'd like, you might quietly repeat this affirmation as you move through your own simple ritual. I release the past. I open my heart to the new beginning meant for me. Speak it aloud, whisper it softly, or simply hold it in your thoughts while clearing your space or letting go of what you've been carrying. The strength of these words comes from the choice they represent, because you aren't pretending to be ready, you are consciously deciding to become ready. In personal growth, we often talk about emotional looping. When your mind keeps returning to the same hurt or unanswered question, it's usually searching for closure that never came. Yet closure doesn't always come from someone else. Sometimes it begins the moment you choose to stop reopening the same chapter and make space for the life waiting ahead. As July 1-2, 2026 unfolds, even simple choices can reflect the direction you're taking. Wearing colors with intention, deep burgundy for courage, midnight blue for intuition, forest green for renewal, or white for clarity can serve as personal reminders of the energy you want to cultivate. More importantly, care for your inner world by releasing self-blame, letting go of the need to explain every part of the past, and remembering that you don't have to be perfect before you're ready. You are already enough, and your growth is already underway. Before stepping into this next chapter, ask yourself, what am I ready to release so I can move forward with greater freedom? If that speaks to you, comment below. I release the past. I open my heart to what's next. Let those words become your intention for the journey ahead. Scorpio, you've come this far because you refused to give up, even when answers never came. Those difficult seasons didn't break you, they shaped someone wiser, stronger, and more open to real change. This message isn't only about what may enter your life, it's also about the person you've become. The Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the High Priestess remind you that you're not simply waiting for blessings, you've been preparing for them. Every act of healing, every thoughtful choice, and every moment you chose compassion over bitterness has helped create the path you're walking today. New financial opportunities, honest conversations, or healthier relationships may emerge because you've made room for something different. Life often meets us at the level of our readiness. The fact that you're still here, still listening, and still choosing your healing says more about your strength than you may realize. Take a slow breath and recognize the quiet alignment growing within you, where your heart, your choices, and your purpose begin moving together. So let me ask you one final question. How would today change if you lived as though your next chapter were already unfolding? Perhaps this is the moment to spend less time doubting and more time welcoming the life you're steadily creating. The opening days of July 1-2, 2026 invite reflection, renewal, and intention. If your heart is ready, comment 72. All right, I'm ready for my next chapter. I open my heart to truth, healing, and new beginnings. Or, I welcome the opportunities meant for me. Sometimes, a simple declaration is enough to remind yourself of the path you've chosen. If this message touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe for future messages, and share it with someone who may need these words today. If you'd like to support this space, you can do so through the link in the description or the QR code on your screen. Thank you to everyone who has supported this community. Your kindness makes every new message possible. Thank you for spending this time here. Scorpio, you've come farther than you know. Step into this new chapter with an open heart, quiet confidence, and the willingness to welcome every meaningful opportunity waiting ahead.